Today, we'll be showing you how to remove and replace your belt switch on this LG electric dryer. Be sure to visit ApplianceVideo.com, where you will find thousands of repair videos on the latest technology. And for a limited time, you can save big on an annual membership and take advantage of all of our premium benefits. ApplianceVideo.com. Do it right the first time. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for the proper voltage. You will need the following tools to complete this repair. To access the machine, we must first remove the top panel. It's held on by 3 Phillips screws on the bottom lip here. Once you have these taken off, grab the little front slider and pull it in. Start to wiggle the top off and set it to the side. Now that we have the top panel removed, in order to go further in this dryer, we will have to remove the front here. Now, in order to do so, there's a couple screws that will have to be removed. There are 2 Phillips machine thread screws on the bottom. There are 2 at the top. Now, normally these are covered with this sticker. You'll have to use something, pop it off, and just kind of set it below. Remove the 2 Phillips screws. We'll go ahead and close the door. When removing the ones at the top, it is held on by these little clips here, but make sure you put your leg or something against the front when you're removing the 2 top screws. Now, next, to pull the front forward, it is clipped in. Use a tack puller or a flat blade screwdriver, go below, press up, and let it drop down. Inside, we have a door switch. Remove this Molex, followed by a Molex for your UI. Use something to press in on the locking tab, separate it, lift up on the front, and set it to the side. Next, we'll have to remove the top bracket here. The first thing you'll want to do is push this Molex back inside. You can do that by pressing on the tabs that are on the top and the bottom with a small screwdriver and pushing it in. Next, we have 2 Phillips screws on the front. It is held on the front. It's got kind of like a slotted area with a hook on the sides, so you have to lift up and pull out, slide it down, and set it to the side. Now that we have the top bracket removed, the next thing we'll need to remove is the bulkhead. To start, you will have to remove any strain relievers. This one right here is broken. On this one here, we're going to go to the back side, pinch it with some pliers, and pull it out. Separate our Molex for our LED lamp. And just bring the wiring over to the side. We do have 4 Phillips screws that will have to be removed. Followed by your Molex on the bottom. You'll just pinch and separate. Lift up on your front bulkhead and start to pull out. Same on this side. Lift up, pull out, wiggle it free, and set your bulkhead to the side. Now that we have the front bulkhead removed, next we can remove the drum. It is held on with your belt, of course. So the first thing I want to do is put our hands inside You will feel the idler pulley here. It has a spring on the bottom. You will press up on the idler pulley, going to the outer wall. Remove the belt from the motor pulley. Let it drop down. Gently let your idler drop down so you do not damage it. Pull up on the belt. We're going to start to wiggle out the drum and set your drum to the side. Now that we have the drum removed, we have clear access to our belt switch assembly. Now our belt switch is located down here by the idler. The main reason why you'd be replacing your belt switch is if the unit will not start. Now if you watch how this works, this switch actuates right here. So if your belt breaks and the switch goes down, it will press it on this switch and it'll end up telling it that the belt is broken and will not allow it to start. But sometimes your belt may still be attached and it won't start because the belt switch is actually bad. Now the first thing you want to do is remove the screws here. There are 2 Phillips screws that are holding it in. Set those down there, get the one on the bottom. Move this out. Now you will want to remove your wiring connection here. It can be rather tricky. Just slide it out, pull out your switch. If you want to test your switch, you can use your meter from here to the terminal that is in here. And what you do is you'll actuate the switch back and forth to see if it has an ohm reading and then drops the ohm reading and see how that reacts. If that is testing bad, the switch will need to be replaced and we'll go ahead and set it to the side. When installing your new belt switch, first we will install the wiring. You have the longer terminal here. We'll go toward this way. Let's slide it in, get it into place. Next, we will install the belt switch on the motor bracket. Let's put in our first screw, line it up, and start to tighten it up here. Leave it a little loose so that you can properly position it for the bottom one. There we go. Let's tighten it up. Make sure your idler is moving freely. Now we can reinstall the drum. When reinstalling your drum, the first thing you'll want to do is make sure you have a belt on the middle of it in order to hold it. Next, you may need to move the wiring out of the way and start to flex the sides to put the drum in. We will get it lined up to the back. I want you to put some force on the front and give it a turn so that it falls on the actual wheels. Lift up on the drum and start to move your belt toward the middle of the drum so that we can reinstall it. Once you have it around the middle, reach inside. And what we'll do here is we have your idler pulley. You will gently lift up. Now there are 2 sides of the belt. You have a flat side and a ribbed side. The flat side will go against the idler wheel. The ribbed side will go around the motor pulley. Put it here, let it rest on the idler gently. Now we can reinstall the front bulkhead. When reinstalling your front bulkhead, we'll bring it in. First, the lip of it will fit on the front of the drum. You may have to move it around. And what I want you to do is to bring this up and slide your 2 top pieces in first. Once you get these in, give the drum a spin. This will cause the bulkhead to draw in on the rollers. You will have to lift up again on each side to get the other portions of the bracket in. We're in. Next, go around and reinstall your Phillips screws. Plug back in our harness on the bottom. Bring around and reinstall your strain relievers and reinstall the Molex for your LED. Now we can reinstall the top bracket. When reinstalling your top plate, first we will push the door lock harness through the smaller slotted area. Bring it into place. Make sure your hook goes into the slot on the frame and slide down. Do the same on the opposite side. Reinstall our 2 Phillips screws. We will push back in the Molex. The side of the Molex, one side is larger, so it can only go in one way. Push in, hear the click. Now we can reinstall the front. When reinstalling the front, there are 2 lips on the very bottom that you will slide the front on. Once you get it in place, reinstall your door switch wiring, followed by your front wiring. Bring it in, clip it in. We will reinstall the 2 screws on the top. Now on the front, if you remember correctly, we have 2 regular Phillips on the front top. Followed by the 2 machine screws on the bottom. Close the door, and now we can reinstall the top. When reinstalling your top, I always like to put my hand on the slider because the bottom is really sharp. We'll drop it in and line it up. It can only fit on one way. Grab the front and the back and make sure you apply pressure so that it is slipped in. There we go. Now we will reinstall the 3 screws on the back. And this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click the like and subscribe to our channel.